Okay, so three-way split. We are going to start with Kamara, who is going to Vale Aaron's residence. We'll try to keep this a little bit on the quick side. Take it away, Kamara.
Okay. I walk through the town, go straight up to the gate, walk in, and find Vale Aaron.
She's just walking in like she owns the place all one night, and she's assuming. Yeah, they let you in. They don't have an issue with it. You walk in, you walk up the stairs, and he is there with what appears to be a group of his. He calls them employees. He doesn't call them servants. He has an issue with that. He's there with a group of his employees, and it looks like they're just finishing a meeting. I would say it's maybe about 10 o'clock in the morning at this point. And he looks up at you. And he waves to everybody and says, I think that's enough for today. And they all kind of nod and dissipate, looking at you curiously as they walk out of the room. And he says, really? It's only been a couple hours.
Well, we're gonna leave soon. So I just thought we should do it again. Also, I signed the contract. So
he walks over. He walks over and takes it from you. What changes did you make?
I just made sure that I was the mother, completely and wholeheartedly mother, and there would be no other person that can be a mother unless I died. That kind of thing.
Gotcha. And I would assume that you put something in there like that you have the right to revoke it, all of this at any time. Yeah. And he's absolutely fine. And he says, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. It
was mostly everything that's happened recently. I'm on edge when it comes to her. And I trust you more than most people, and I probably shouldn't because I barely know you, but I do. And that's why I responded that way.
Well, you know that I can't tell anything but the truth, and I'm telling you that I will do everything I can to make sure that she is safe here. Besides, I've got some backup now, and he kind of points towards his...
That's true. Yes. Thank you. I really do appreciate you doing this.
Yeah. Just come back.
That's the plan. And also I'll be messaging her and everything. So every day. And sometimes I could possibly see you through our eyes. So try... I don't know. I'm just letting you know.
I'll be around her as much as I can.
Every minute of every day, forever. Until I'm back.
Yeah, I'll make an effort. He kind of grabs you and pulls you into his arms and says, you need to be safe.
Of course, I'll always be safe.
Good luck saving the city.
Yeah. I got all of this luck right here.
Okay, Kamara, is there anything else you want to do there?
No.
She's like, I don't want to go. Okay. So
I will stay there a little bit longer, and be the last one at Gilmore. So.
Okay, you have Kamara with you, or you have Kostiyama with you, and this is when you are making the exchange, right?
Right.
Okay, he does take you, and he shows you basically that he has set up an area in his own room with a crib, that she's not going to be staying in the main orphanage. And he does everything he can to kind of reassure you that he's really going to take good care of her.
Oh, he doesn't need to reassure me of that.
And Castiana is a little too young to kind of sense that anything is going on, but she seems very enthralled by. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and jump to yet another mansion in a different part of the city. Give me a moment. Okay, Zane and Randolph Finney. You approach a large, well-manicured mansion. There's a nameplate, a black, kind of slate nameplate on the wall. It's kind of like a wall archway, and it's covered with this kind of shimmering, gossamer, magical glow. Randolph Phineas, it doesn't take any kind of arcane talent to know that there is some kind of barrier right outside of this archway. Zane approaches it pretty confidently and stops, and Randolph Phineas, you see a plaque there that says Gilmore, and then underneath it looks like a newer addition is the name Runelith. It is a pretty grand estate as far as estates go. It's well manicured. There's flowers everywhere. It looks exactly like it does in the picture. Take it away.
Okay. Quite magnificent estate, my lord. Who lives here?
DM belly pokes the warrior.
Muted, Brett?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
I must have accidentally tapped the mute button. He says, what was it?
I just said it was quite a magnificent estate. Asked who lived here that we were coming to see.
Oh, he said, and I said something pretty good too, and I can't fucking remember what it was. He says, yes, it is. It's Gilmore, and I point to the plaque, and I do what I usually do to try to call on Mina.
So you ring the little silver bell.
Mm-hmm.
And much to your displeasure, you see the front doors open across the courtyard, and the snooty butler with his fancy coiffed gray hair. This is an elven man, tall, slender, very overdone in a very, very nice set of kind of almost like a tuxedo butler kind of clothing. Makes his way across the courtyard. He sees the two of you, gets an unimpressed expression on his face, and walks up to the barrier and says, "Can't you and your companions figure out to all call upon the Lord and Lady at the same time? Do you purposefully stagger your visits by a couple hours?"
In Elven, I'm going to say, it must be very tiresome to have to walk that whole distance to answer the gate all the time. You must be very tired.
You have no idea.
Do you address your betters like this commonly? Is this normal for you?
He glances at you and looks you up and down. Are you still in servant's garb?
Yeah, I'm in my Randolph Phineas outfit. My manservant, best in the city.
He kind of raises an eyebrow. Define the word betters.
Hmm.
But as he says this, he kind of puts his hand on the barrier and it dissipates.
Noble birth. All of us in the Servants Guild know this.
As you guys step through, he raises a hand and the barrier appears again, and he starts leading you towards the estate. And he says very clearly under his breath, not hiding it. He says, "There's a very big difference between human nobility and elven nobility."
Most
And
improper.
he kind of takes longer steps to get ahead of you a little bit and opens the door with a bow and lets you guys into the estate.
I'll give him a glare as I walk by.
Yeah. As I walk by, I say, "I'm sure there is, Elf," and then I continue.
Okay.
He just has more job security knowing that his employee is going to last a lot longer.
There you go.
This place is a fortress, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, the inside is even more impressive than the outside, Randolph Phidias. It's very well decorated, dare I say, bright colors. There's streamers and banners hanging from everywhere. There's paintings all over the walls of epic battle scenes and ancient lords and ladies. It is quite the mansion, probably one of the nicest that you've been in, even with the fact that you have been through a lot of estates as a butler.
Copy that.
And there's a noise from up the stairs, and you see a woman rushing toward. She gets to the top of the stairs and puts her hands on her hips. And just glares at you, Zane.
I start walking up to her with a smirk on my face, and I go, "You know, I've tried visiting you many, many times."
Really?
Your
Because
butler
I
would
sort
not
of...
let me in.
What?
Your butler would not let me in.
She blinks and looks over your shoulder down the stairs, and right at this point, Galvestad is turning to go into the kitchen very quickly. Is that so?
I'd say I've tried visiting you since you got out of the prison 10 or 15 times. I've always been too busy, according to him.
She takes a few steps down the stairs and meets you about halfway. At this point, she notices Randolph Phineas and kind of tilts her head and looks him over.
I will bow to her, my lady.
Oh,
She
this
gives- Okay.
is Randolph Phineas. He is a new member of our party.
Huh. Well, welcome to the fun.
Thank you, my lady. It's a pleasure to make
Randolph
your
Phineas.
acquaintance.
She holds out her hand for you.
I will kiss it. With indifference, of course, bowed.
And of course, this is Mina.
She kind of clears her throat. Lady Elamina Levancine de Renolith of Singorn.
I think I may have worked for your family at some point. I'm not sure.
Is that so? She kind of looks you up and down a little bit harder. Are you a butler?
I'm the butler, my lady.
She kind of taps her lips. That's funny. I don't recall ever seeing you for hire. I think I would have noticed.
I am in quite high demand, my lady.
Apparently. And she turns back to Zane. I think I've mentioned to you before about my dear butler. Have I not?
About him being a spy, out of character, to spy on you. I say, yeah, you have told me.
Let's just say he might not have the best opinion of our friendship.
Oh, I very well put the pieces together.
I'm sure you did. And then she stops and she narrows her eyes again. You cut your hair.
You like it?
She reaches up and starts like rubbing it and checking it over. That's actually a good job. I'm gonna have to talk to your stylist.
Well, he's standing right next to me.
Really?
Wow.
A man of many talents. Where did you say
That's
you were from?
here and there. I am been in Iman now for 6 years. I could pencil you in at any time, my lady, if you'd like.
Huh. She kind of twirls her own hair with her fingers a little bit. I'm sorry, where did you say you were from?
Oh, from a far off land to the south. My village no longer exists.
Interesting. And then she turns back to Zane and says, I heard a little birdie named Kamara say that you were planning on going out of town, and if it hadn't been for her stopping in, I bet you would have just...
No, actually. I would have tried one more time to see him before I left. I try to do that every time before I leave, unless it's urgent.
We're going to have to think of a different tactic. Let me work on that. How long are you going to be gone? Kamara was talking about teleportation and...
Did they tell you where we were going?
Yeah, they did. And I think it's a really bad idea, just for the record.
Well, most of these excursions to save the world are bad ideas, but, well, someone's got to do it. Might as well be me.
Well, I'm sure that she told you that I'm happy to help get you there, but your trip back is going to be all on.
We understand that. It's going to be a long trip anyways, so we're expecting to be gone months.
She always has a smile on her face, Randolph Phineas. You're getting the impression of her that she's kind of a bubbly, like super happy-go-lucky. But her expression drops at that, and you kind of see a little bit what's underneath, and she does not like the fact that Zane is leaving for so long.
Okay. What kind of elf is she? I'm sorry.
That's a very good question. She appears to be high elven.
Okay.
Definitely well dressed, completely proper, absolutely perfect in every way. Like her makeup is done perfectly, her hair is done perfectly. Like there's nothing askew about her. She is a butler's dream.
Okay. And I want, just for the record, for any interactions with these people, I've made sure to highlight my high elven features so that it sticks out more than the other.
Right. And that's one of the reasons she kept asking you where you're from.
Okay.
So she kind of gestures to the two of you to come up the stairs, and she leads you into her room. Zane, you've seen this before. It's a rather large room. There's a bed and kind of like a bed and sleeping area over on one side, but then on the other side, there's tables that are just strewn with all kinds of different magical ingredients. There's mannequins that have like half-sewn dresses on them. It's not messy, but it's very chaotic. There's notes all over the place, half-finished research. There's some beakers that are bubbling. It's there's a lot to look at in here.
I'll stop at the door and address Zane. Would you like me to wait outside, my lord?
She starts laughing.
He is very proper. No, it'll probably be obvious when you should leave.
You cut off there, Brett.
It'll probably be obvious when you should leave.
Yes, my lord.
She looks back over her shoulder and raises an eyebrow.
I'm not expecting anything.
When he should leave?
He gives her a smirk, a very roguish smirk. He says, "I'm not expecting anything."
Of course not. But I do have something for you.
You do.
And
What-
she walks over to one of the tables and picks up some parchment. And then steps back up to you, and she's kind of shy at this point, actually. And she hands him over, as well as a quill. I didn't have too much time to prepare for this. Next time you could give me a little more warning, you know? Especially since I had to gather all the ingredients for the teleportation. But you have 3 of these. Make good use of them, okay? And as she hands them to you, you notice that they're glowing faintly. And she says, you can write to me. Put my name on the top. Write as much as you can fit on the page. And when you're done, sign your name. It'll disappear, and it'll appear to me.
This is very good. Thank you.
If things go wrong, you make sure you let me know.
I certainly will. So what should I put in my inventory?
Magical letters times 3.
Okay.
She's standing there kind of awkwardly looking at you and gives a big sigh. So when do you need me to meet you at the Lyceum?
We're gonna spend some time making preparations. We want to make sure that our armor and weapons are enchanted for whatever might be in the depths. And then we have some kind of cat to find up north that one of our members is adamant about completing. We'll most likely complete that.
Save the world, save the cat?
Not in that order.
I think you might need to work on your priorities a little bit. And she kind of grabs the front of your shirt and plays with it.
Well, talk to Charlene about that.
She glances over your shoulder at Randolph Phineas. Yeah, I think now's a good time for you to go.
Yes, my lady. And I will turn around and walk out the door and just sit outside. Actually, I'm gonna kind of explore a little bit, just around where we're at.
Yeah, whisper me what you're doing. There is no one currently watching you.
Cool.
Or even if you don't want to whisper, give it just a second and I'll come back to you.
Copy.
So she grabs your shirt and pulls you in a little closer. You need to be a little bit better prepared. You could have come to me with all of this, and I could have helped you with this enchantment.
Well, I would have certainly came straight to you. But we just found out about this last night.
Allie did say there was something really big going on. Doesn't surprise me that you got drawn into it.
Well, the leader's got to do what he's got to do. You never said if you liked the hair or not.
I do like the hair. Now we just have to talk about the beard.
No, out of character, he shaved me completely clean.
Oh, that's right, he did. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, she says, and I like the lack of the beard, too. And she pulls you in for a kiss.
After we kiss, I'm going to say, well, before we leave, I'd like to try to take you out sometime. I don't think we've had a real chance at a date since the festival, especially since it was cut short with the earthquakes.
We do seem to have some bad luck. Earthquakes, crazy councilwomen.
Hydras.
Yeah,
Oh, you heard
just
about
to name
them.
a few. Chris, I hear a lot about you. And this time I didn't hear it from Vale, I promise.
Vale and I, we're okay now.
Good. He's really not a bad guy.
Nope, he just needed a good hard clock to the nose.
Is that what you did?
Oh yeah. If I would have punched him any harder, I would have laid him out.
Oh, Zane, I would have paid to see that. Next time, get me a front row seat.
Well, hopefully we won't need to do that again. We've got a good understanding now.
I hope not. She kind of looks you up and down. She's like, are you sure you really took him out? I mean, not saying anything, but...
What do you mean?
Nothing. And she gives you another kiss on the cheek. So will you let me know what I'm supposed to...
Yes. I mean, first thing I do when we get back from this cat thing is come see you.
I like the sound of that. You take care of yourself.
Zane's gonna go in for a harder kiss.
She does the whole thing where she puts her hands on the back of your neck and you start feeling like the zinging going up and down your... And then she pulls away and says, I thought you had things to do.
Well, yes, but most times you're my number one priority. And I have like a good 20 minutes.
Really? So I don't think you've worked hard enough for that yet.
I've destroyed hydras nearly single-handedly. Saved the world at least once.
I'd say that's enough for a kiss. And you just got to.
Guess I got to sneak one.
Although you did mention something about cats. I'm quite fond of cats. Did I ever mention that?
I might have heard it once.
Just a little hint.
Out of character, what type of... This wasn't like a normal cat.
No, they were quaddle cats, which are basically, you know what a quaddle snake is?
Nope.
It's like a snake with wings. And this cat that you saw at the menagerie was basically a fluffy white cat with wings. And it was called a quaddle cat.
Ah, so I would have mentioned that it was a quaddle cat.
She gets really excited. I have always wanted to see one of those. I would love to pet it, bring it back.
And out of character, they were kittens, right?
Yes, they were.
I would have mentioned that too.
Her eyes are very wide. And Zane is thinking 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I'm sure the quest won't be very dangerous. What do you say you
Rescuing.
come with us?
I mean, I'm assuming you're going to climb a tree or two. Might want to bring a ladder.
It'll probably be a little bit more complicated than that, but you're free to come with us if you'd like.
Not if I'm going to be teleporting you.
It's gonna take that long to prep. I'm sure you
Well,
can do it for you.
gotta stay prepared. And I have a lot here. Gilmore is keeping me really busy with the new inventory. But thank you for the invitation. Maybe I'll take you up on it next time.
All right, Buzzkill.
She laughs and walks over and opens the door. And as she opens the door, Randolph Phineas describe what they.
I'm standing at the door with a silver tray in my hand and 2 decanters of, or 2 glasses and, some refreshments. Something to drink, my lady, my lord.
She blinks a few times and looks over at Zane and then looks back at you and says, "How did you slip through my fingers?"
Could not tell you, my lady. If I had the option to choose, and I would have known it was you, I most assuredly would have come at your beck and call.
She looks over at Zane and says, "You have better taste than I thought." And she takes some wine and starts drinking.
I guess I'll take some of that wine too. Well,
Very good.
Okay, do you guys have any more plans?
But before he leaves, he says, "Well, how long is it going to take you to get that the teleport ready? I want to take you out on that date."
Well, I have all the ingredients already prepared, thanks to Allie. She had a few things laying around that I didn't have laying. However, I've still got to get permission from the Lyceum, and the paperwork is quite tedious. Yeah, I think I could make some time if you're back in a day or two.
In a couple of days? Oh, then I guess I could show you that Coatl cat when I get back.
I am looking forward to it.
My lady.
My lord, have a safe trip. And she gives you a curtsy. And then she kind of nods to you.
I'll bow in deference. Follow and step behind Zane when he leaves.
Mm-hmm. So I guess now I'll be heading just kind of click on something. Ooh, I still wanted to do that thing with the cook. But okay, so we said that we'd meet everybody at Gilmore's Glorious.
Okay, so you guys are headed to Gilmore's Glorious Goods, and we are going to switch over to Aramil and Charlene, who I believe were going to the castle in the Cloudtop District to meet with the council and pick up their money. Am I correct?
Very correct.
Yay me! Okay, here we go.
2 wise, non-charismatic characters go get some.
Take it away.
Aramil looks to Charlene. Well, you seem to have made it to the castle. Where do you think we should go? And he walks up to a guard and says, excuse me. We need to meet with the council. They're expecting us sometime today.
The guard nods and brings you into the interior of the castle, into a hall. Everything is kind of bustling today. There are a lot of people walking around in the gray robes that you recognize as the Lyceum students. it looks like there's still quite a few of them around, despite them having already finished their initial investigation of Thordak's crater. And it does cross your mind as to why they are still here, but there's lots of people walking around with scrolls, and they're all running between each other, and it seems like there's a lot of information exchange happening. And they ask you to wait on a bench, and after a few moments, you see Seeker Assume come out. And he kind of gives you guys a curt, not quite bow, but like just a recognition of dipping his shoulders a little.
She does the same back.
I
As
assume you're
does
here about
Aramil.
the quest. I assume you're here about the quest.
Aramil nods, just looks straight at him.
Have you had any luck in your research as to Nocturne?
We've made some advancements for sure. Our trip is planned. All that we need to do is get ready for it. In terms of the strategy, we need a little more information, but it seems like we're going to get some of it either on location or on the road.
Sounds like a plan. We'd like for you guys to keep in touch with us as much as possible. Send letters anytime you can along the way. Are you here for the gold?
Yes.
Yes, and do you happen to know if Allura is here?
She is, and he leads you back into the council chambers. You see what looks like a couple of farmers standing before the round council table, and you see Allura sitting there along with Brom Goldhand. And they seem to be intently listening to what these farmers are saying. Seeker Assume gestures for you to wait. He goes and sits down. And it takes a good 10-15 minutes for them to conclude their conversation, which seems like some kind of battle over property or fields or something like that. Seeker Assume writes out some kind of decree, hands it to the farmers, who both don't seem very happy about the decision. But they walk past, glancing at you, shirtless elf standing there for some weird reason, and very, very curious about Charlene as they walk by and not talking to each other, making their way out separately. And Allura stands up, gives you a curtsy.
Aramil bows back.
Back so soon. I guess your news is good then. Did you find someone with information on the city of Nocturne?
Yes, we have managed to get enough information to set a journey for ourselves. And although we don't have any information regarding the quest itself, we plan to do more research once we're closer. Aramil, he looks to Allura and looks around and says, "The more personal matter that we've discussed in the past, I've learned more about it, so you don't need to worry about continuing to look into that if you still were."
You mean your clansmen?
Yes.
Well, I hope whatever news you found was favorable.
He shakes his head. It did not seem that fate would have it so.
She frowns. I'm very sorry to hear that. If there's anything I can do, please let me know.
He nods. I'm currently getting some assistance with something that the clan themselves dealt with before arriving in Amon, but it seems like if your knowledge of what happened to them ends with what we discussed, then they are very much out of the grasp of what you could do. If there's anything else you could help with, once I learn more, I'll definitely let you know.
I'm glad to hear it, Elmel. I still owe you guys for the rescue of my...
He shakes his head. You don't owe us anything for that. It's just us doing what needs to be done and making sure that the order of the world is as it should be.
And that's why we appreciate you so much, because we're asking you to do it again. And this time it's going to be much more difficult. She gestures behind her and points to the chest. And make sure you take this and equip yourselves well. My one caution to you is if there's anyone in your party who has trouble seeing in darkness, that you make sure that you are adequately prepared for that.
That is a great idea. Thank you.
Okay, so how are you guys going to transport this chest, which is probably close to 500 pounds?
That is very heavy. Aramil will look to Charlene, and he'll hold one end.
500 pounds, including the chest?
Yeah. The chest is probably 30 pounds of that. 30, 40. 30, 40, 50.
We're gonna walk around town with $25,000 or 25,000 gold in a chest.
I am looking at how much of that I think would fit in the bag of holding. I think most of it probably could. We don't have that much heaviness in the bag. So yeah, Shullin would be scooping most of it and putting it into the bag of holding. And making the chest a lot lighter now. Anything she can't carry in the bag, she'll just carry with him, with Aramel.
Okay, it takes you a little bit of time to do this. You are able to get it all into the bag.
Okay.
I'm really going to enjoy the scene where you start pulling it all out.
Yes.
They continue their business as you're doing this. Brom Goldhand keeps looking over his shoulder, kind of grumbly at you guys as all the clattering and chinging is happening as you're emptying this giant chest full of gold. Quite a few times, some of it spills out on the floor, and you guys are picking it up like a couple of children cleaning up their room. While there's other people walking into the council chamber with their business, kind of watching what's going on and looking at you like you're raiding the treasury. But despite that humiliation, you're able to get everything into the bag. And where are you going?
See, you say humiliation, but I think that neither Aramel or Charlene think anything of it.
Probably I shouldn't have said that. Fair enough. I will let you decide how you're responding to the people looking at you like you're raiding the treasury.
Because I think like normal people would probably have that reaction, but the two that happen to be here, I think, are like, okay. Aramel's like, I don't understand money. And like, sure, I feel like both of them are like,
Why do we even need this gold? All that we need to survive is our own strength.
You say aloud as you're talking to Charlotte, and all three of the council members turn and look at you. Well, if you don't want it.
Unfortunately, some of the gold is necessary to hasten our trip, so if we don't spend any, we'll be sure to return it.
Unfortunately, gold is used for goods and services. People should just help people, and then we won't need to use all this gold.
Aramil
Okay.
nods. That is the way the world should be.
You guys continue to discuss the philosophy of of helping your fellow human or your human elven humanoid kind
Yes.
for a brief time until you're finally finished. And where do you go?
To Gilmore.
Yes, since we have all of the gold, we can now purchase things. Let's go to Gilmore's and prepare.
Okay, so I believe at this point I have addressed everybody. Stop me if I have not. No one's stopping me. Okay, here we go. So, eventually, the group of you meets up at Gilmore's Glorious. Give me just a moment.
Wow, what convenient timing. Good to see you all here.
It's almost like it was planned.
What
We all
happened?
got here nearly at the exact same time.
Okay, you all arrive, walking up to the front door. Most of you from the north, Kamara coming from this. Kamara looks a little disheveled. She's kind of trying to straighten her hair as she walks up to the group of you. Take it away.
Aramil is talking to Charlene. Well, if we have this much in the bag, looks up. Oh, shall we head inside? The new stock is here, so there must be something we can use on our journey.
Yes. Let's head inside.
Okay, so you guys push your way through the beads that hang across the front door, which, by the way, at this point, everything has been repaired. It's impossible to tell that there was ever a battle, but the four of you who were present for that battle still kind of have it in the back of your mind as you're walking into the shop. You're expecting to see the damage counter and the scorch marks on the interior, but you see none of that. You walk in, and immediately behind the counter, you see a young elven woman with glasses who looks up, says, "Welcome to..." It's you again.
Hi, Sherry. Miss us?
Aramil
She
gives
does-
her a little bow.
She does blush a little bit when she sees Charlotte. And there's a couple patrons wandering around the shop. Kamara, I'm going to let you respond. Randolph Phineas pulls out a ribbon to help you with your wild.
I'm typing.
Let's get this in roleplay so we can hear it.
She takes the ribbon and just wraps it around her hair and continues on, kind of nonchalantly walking by him.
And
Doesn't smile or anything.
Rand will fight the urge to fix her hair. That is just, it's eating at him. He just can't stop looking at her hair. He wants to, but he's a little scared of her, so.
Scared of Kamara? What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys encounter Sherry as you walk in. And you see a number of patrons walking around. The store does seem a lot more well stocked than it was the last time that you came here. And I am so excited for this. Give me one second. DM has a deck of magic items.
Ooh.
And is currently shuffling it.
I pick the fifth one.
Let's see what I pull and whether or not you can afford it. Okay, so The very first thing that you guys notice upon entering the store is a kind of gray silver rope that is hanging on a mannequin. It looks to be about human sized, and it has a heavy hood that hangs off of the back of it. And it's a cloth robe with patches of various shapes and colors that cover it. And you notice some of those patches have pictures. One of them looks like a pole, one of them looks like a mirror, one of them looks like a rope, one of them looks like a dagger. And it kind of glitters a little bit in the low torchlight of Gilmore's candlelight of Gilmore's Glorious Goods. By the Randolph Phineas, you may have visited the store at some point in your past, but just to give you a little bit of a description,
Okay.
it is heavy with the scent of patchouli and spices. It is a little overdone. It's gaudy on the inside. In fact, it kind of reminds you just a little bit of that mansion that you just visited.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about there, that smell.
Okay, the next thing that you see is a large tome laying open on the counter. And it's kind of got a bronze, like a bronzed leather tooling on the outside of it with a face of a man with a long beard. And as you watch it, the pages seem to like they're turning on their own. Not far off from that interesting looking book are an assortments of potions. Most of them you'd recognize as the familiar color of healing potions that you guys have purchased in the past. But one of them is filled with a clear kind of gossamer liquid that seems to contain little bits of something floating in it. And as you watch, those little bits kind of let off this red dye that kind of seeps through the potion. And kind of swirls around and then disappears. And you watch it for another moment, kind of fascinated, and the process repeats. Zane, something catches your eye. Being who you are and what you do, hanging up on the wall. You see a sword with a very, very sharp edge to it. It's gray in color, very shiny. The hilt is wrapped in leather. And at the very tip of the sword split. It could be used as either a piercing or a slashing weapon. And it glitters just a little bit in the torchlight or in the candlelight. And then the very last item that catches your eye. The very last item that catches your eye is on the counter again, just a little bit over your vision of this potion. There's one of those mannequin hands that's kind of clawed up towards the air, and you see upon it glittering a beautiful ring with a large purple gem in it. And I will allow you guys, if you would like, to make perception checks. If you manage to roll a 20 or above, I will add another.
Nice.
Damn, you guys. Okay, so I get to pull 2 more items. Sorry, the other half is shrink wrapped still. Trying to bite it open with my teeth. I need skizzers. Be right back.
Okay.
Skizzers.
Skizzers!
Sipping on some skizzers. So is this like a shop that these are the only things they have, or can we find other things here?
You can find lots of things.
Like
Sorry.
you guys have been here before. Oh, I thought you were my bad.
I actually found my Harry Potter wand letter opener that I have never used before, and I'm making use of it. So to answer your question, you are able to purchase basic items as well as healing potions, but these are the main magic items that we're going to go over. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through, the DMG and magic item book to talk about things. So this is the selection that you have a choice of. Give me 1 second while I take my finger off push to talk so I can open this.
Okay.
Oh, I just realized that my AC should be 20, not 19. Yeah, I've already got a pretty damn awesome sword. I don't know if this one's gonna be any good. We'll see what it does.
They got some magical daggers or magical short sword. Monocle of true seeing or something.
But a monocle.
I think it looked rather dapper.
Okay, so this is open. We are pulling 2 more items, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 4 items?
No,
Excuse
1
me.
more item for each 20 rolled on the perception check. So that's 2 more.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. You said
And that's why it means bastard.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Deep breath. This is not.
Uh-oh.
deck of many things.
Yeah. We got the luck sword.
The luck sword? Is that as awesome as the hack sword?
I don't actually remember what it's called. Maybe a luck blade. I'm saying the sword that has like 3 wishes on it.
Oh, yeah. Wish would be nice.
So,
I
Charlene,
wish.
you're looking around the room at all of these items, and you're thinking you've kind of seen everything that you're going to see when you realize that on the arms of the mannequin that you saw with the cloak, there is a pair of shackles. They're gold in color, they're heavily engraved, and there's a couple gems set into them. And Randolph Phineas, you're sort of looking around the shop thinking, wow, this could really use a dust. And because of that, your eyes are drawn to a broom standing in the corner.
I will check it out.
Okay, so it appears to be a wooden broom with straw coming out of the. However, it's kind of put on a prominent display for a broom. A little bit strange. You don't know why Gilmore would be selling a broom. And it has a rather hefty price tag attached to it of 5,500 gold pieces.
Wow. This must be the best broom ever.
Okay, guys, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options. Take it away.
Well, Zane will ask about the
The sword.
Yep.
Okay.
The split sword. He'll ask about it.
Okay.
What does it do?
So Sherry walks over and takes the sword down and hands it to you so that you can kind of look it over. And she tells you that this item is called the Sword of Life Stealing. It is a short sword. And she says that when you attack a creature with it and do a good amount of damage, it has a little ability that kind of sucks life from the person that you injure and passes it on to you.
Brutal, but interesting.
Oh my god.
And
How
she
much is
shows
it?
you the price tag, 6,500 gold pieces.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you very much. I'll keep looking. And he hands.
Okay.
Who's next?
What are these shackles?
Oh, these Gilmore got in special made.
And what do they do?
She says that these are called dimensional shackles. And what they do is they can fit either basically any size creature from small to large. When you put them on the creature, it changes in size to fit them. And it prevents that creature from using any kind of dimensional or extra dimensional movement, including teleportation or travel to another plane. They stay on for 30 days once you put them on. And the price on that is 700 gold pieces.
Interesting.
Those could be useful.
Yeah, especially for the price.
You guys all have a momentary memory of Freya turning to the side and disappearing.
Yep.
What about that robe?
Oh, this is quite a clever item, she says. And she goes over and takes the robe down and kind of puts it over your shoulders, Kamar. This is very good for an adventurer who doesn't want to haul around a lot of things, or who might need a little item at the right moment. She points to all the different patches and she says, if you need one of these things, you can pull it off the robe and it becomes the item. And again, there's a number of patches of daggers, lanterns, mirrors, poles, rope, and set. And the price on this is 1,200 gold pieces.
You should probably wear that, Randy.
I hope one of you was writing that down, the gold pieces. Okay, so the robe was 1,200. I said 6,500 for the sword, right?
Nope. You said 3,000 because that's what I have in my inventory.
The broom I said was 5,500, and the
Yep.
shackles I said were 700. Correct?
Yeah.
Ooh, I just wrote 55,000 for the gold or for the broom. Huh? No. Okay. Moving on.
And could you tell me about this ring?
I'll answer you in 1 second, the person who's whispering me. Okay, so the ring. You guys are quite inquisitive today. Last time you came in here, you didn't quite have the money to afford anything. I hope things have changed.
It has.
So the sparkling ring with the big purple gem in it, she says, is called a ring of jumping. And while wearing this ring, you can cast the jump spell as a bonus action. It basically lets you jump around. Be very useful to get around or over enemies. And that is at a price of 2,500 gold pieces.
And this is an interesting looking tome.
Oh my. Oh my, this might be beyond all of you, she said. Honestly, it would be cruel for me to show it to you.
I doubt that. It's beyond all of us. Just show it.
Are you sure? Here,
Yes.
let me get you a napkin to wipe away the And she does indeed hand you a napkin from a kerchief behind the counter.
And I wipe her cheek with it, her mouth. There you go.
Shalin
And
does
put it
that.
in
You
her
laugh.
She kind of sputters and pushes you away, Kamara. This is Gilmore's prized item. Not exactly sure how he acquired it, but you could ask him. She kind of stands there for a second, and the book keeps flipping through pages. And she says that this book contains magical intuition and insight. And if you were to spend 2 days reading, or excuse me, 6 days reading it. Hang on, let the DM finish reading the description.
You spend 48 hours in 6
Josh!
days. I don't know what it is. I just know what type of thing
You
it is.
just know the description, right? You don't know what it is.
No, really, it could be one of like 6 items, as far as I know.
Right. So she says that if you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying this book, you will be very wise.
Ooh. And how much is that?
This is at a steal for 15,000 gold pieces.
Oh,
As Randolph Phineas grabs his heart in the corner. Oh, I'm just a butler.
Isn't reading supposed to make you wise? I guess that it just is more of an intellectual thing to do than maybe a wise thing to do. How curious.
If we were going to buy that, it would be to save a mon. So I would think you could make it a little bit less. Actually,
My
a lot
understanding
less.
that Mina has already offered you a 25% discount.
You haven't offered anything.
Okay, so...
No, I haven't, and I won't, but I will hold to her agreement with you.
Okay, so...
25%.
so that would be...
Sword with his eyes big.
So that would be 11,200 gold with the discount.
DM is like, you better not be cheating here. Yes, exactly. And if you read that book, you could probably come up with that sum more quickly next time.
burn.
Aramil looks at it. More wise, more intelligent. I think I've lost the distinction between them.
Charlone's gonna say, well, more intelligent would be knowing that that a tomato is actually a fruit, not a vegetable. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
But couldn't a book tell you both?
Yes.
Probably, but not to this book. I think this book would tell you about fruit salad.
I don't know why a book about fruit salad would.
Randolph,
so
Phineas, make a
coveted then.
performance check, please.
I think that I would want to buy the book.
Alright, it does seem unique for sure.
So as you guys are having this conversation, you hear whoosh, whoosh behind you, and you see the butler swinging the sword around. Sherry steps back as he almost takes off a piece of her hair. Whoa, 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 whoa. Looks only. She kind of grabs the hilt and puts it back away, looking at him with warning in her eyes.
My
There's a little
apologies.
flint or glint of light that crosses her glasses in a very anime style.
My apologies, my lady. Just taken in with the beauty.
Oh, why thank you, she says and flips her hair.
The sword is nice too, yes.
So I believe you guys need to have a conversation.
We'll be right.
Because the potions were something that we'd purchased before, Aramel would be looking at them. He sort of stares at them, not moving for a short amount of time.
Aramel. They stare back at you.
He shudders, then moves to another part of the store. But in all reality, it seems like he's thinking about something as he's looking at them, and then he looks up to Sherry. What healing potions do you have?
The same as before. Regular healing potion, cost you 50 gold pieces. Greater healing potion, 100. Superior, 500. DM hopes she's saying those in the correct order.
She is. Aramel's gonna look to the group, and he's going to say, as much as I hate to admit it, there can be times when the healing magic can save someone's life. I think we should stock up on these.
Wow, did you guys just hear Aramel say that?
We might also want to look after getting a shirt and a cloak, Master Aramel. It is quite cold where we are going.
Master?
Master, mistress. That's an appropriate way to address one such as yourself, yes?
I don't recall you being my student.
I don't recall signing up to be your student. I was just showing deference and respect. Are you not from here?
He shakes his head. No, of course, you should respect the people that still have to teach you, but we should start this journey on equal footing.
Okay. I'm unused to this, but Mr. Aramel.
Just Aramel is fine. And may I call you Randolphinius then?
Call me what you'd like. Matt. Aramel.
He gives you a short nod, and he looks at the healing potions and scoops up. Let's see, 15 greater and 5 superior.
Math it up for me.
I'll get Zane's attention if I can while he's doing the math.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come up to him and say, my lord, if I may, I would like to offer an alternative to our agreement for guiding you into the Underdark.
an alternative.
Yes.
Well, that's heard.
I think it would benefit our party and help us out quite a lot. Would your party be willing to cover half of the cost of this sword with the 25% discount? I could cover the other half, and I would be well equipped for our journey, and we would call ourselves even from your reward. I will have a contract written up if you'd like.
No need. You're part of this party. I said I don't see why not.
Thank you. He'll bow to you real deeply. You can tell that he's very moved by your words.
Okay, so moving along, Aramel, how much does your potion stash cost you?
I rolled it. It's 3,000, including the discount.
Okay. So assuming that the party is okay with that?
Well, he's going to scoop them up and like leave them on the counter. He doesn't have any money, so he can't make any purchases.
Right. Charlene technically has all the money.
Yeah.
So let's keep things moving. What else are you guys going to discuss? So I'm sorry, I was answering some messages, so I didn't quite hear the conversation between Zane and Rand. Did he talk you into buying the sword for him?
I renegotiated our contract with Zane. I didn't talk to the rest of the party though, so
What was the agreement?
that they would cover half the cost of the sword after the discount, and that we would be considered even for our arrangement for me to guide them.
Crafty. Okay. Pasta, I'm going to ask you to calculator for us, please. Does anyone else have any interest in anything?
Well, I mean, Zane is looking for barding and a lance, preferably horse barding that might have some extra protection, maybe some extra magical protection.
Okay. That kind of thing you're going to have to get in an armor. And I mean, if you'd like to step out and say that you're going to go check out the armor so you can get an idea of the pricing and then come back before you guys make a decision, we can just do that without role playing it.
Sounds good.
If I can remember correctly, barding costs 5 times the amount of armor of the same caliber. So you would be looking... What kind of barding? I would hesitate to say that Maximus could wear full plate barding. Because he's not like a war horse. He's pretty heavy for a horse. But I'm going to put the limitation on him right now at half plate.
And I was going to suggest half plate anyways. I don't think... I've been trying to train him to be a war horse, but like we've just been far too busy for me to even go in the back.
Yeah, I think we made the agreement that it was 20 successful trains. Wasn't that the agreement? 20 successful ones, yeah. And I think you've done like maybe 3, but there will be some time on this journey. So,
except not for the first 6 days of it.
Okay, so half plate armor is 750 gold pieces. So calculator, can you tell me 750 times 5 is?
$3,750.
Nice. Okay, so that would be the cost of the barding. And then...
What if it was +1 barding?
Well, you could certainly have it enchanted. I think we agreed earlier that enchanting something to +1 was, what, 1,000 gold pieces?
Sounds right.
Yeah. But remember, that takes some time. I mean, the other option, you could always buy it and leave it here for now. and see if Mina would do it for you and try to get it on your return trip. But, depends on whether or not you bought her flowers that day. I'm kidding. A lance is 10 gold pieces.
I mean, can there be any luck that any of them are being sold with +1? I mean, I'm sure they sell magical weapons, at the very least.
Roll me a d20. On a 15 or above, you get lucky enough to find a +1 lance. Nope. Again.
In fact, they don't have anything.
In fact, they are the armory burned down the other day.
It's kind of caved in, and the whole lance section, just the lance section, was destroyed. I'm messing with you. You can't get a regular lance.
Yep. So I guess I will purchase the barding and the lance.
What was that, Aramel?
Oh, wisdom book. I'm just getting discounted prices.
Okay. So you guys are keeping track of this. How much gold does the party have? And you guys need to make sure that you're splitting it in a way that everyone's going to agree on without killing each other.
We have 30k, and Aramel doesn't need anything, so pretty easy.
Well, Aramel did set aside a bunch of potions.
They are not all for him.
But that was 3,000, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw you roll up, yeah.
3,000.
And that's the brim. And the robe was 1,250, you said?
The robe was 1,200.
Is somebody... well, first, is somebody tallying everything? Is there somebody adding all these purchases to...
Yeah, that's what Aaron was doing.
Pretty sure we can afford everything.
I think so.
We probably could. The what I'm purchasing is will cost 37,600.
Yep. Yeah, we can just get everything. I'll do the total sum.
Just for shits and giggles, what does the broom do?
Oh yeah, no one did ask about the broom.
Or the
Oh, I thought you guys already looked at it. I was going to ask about the broom.
Yeah, no one asked about the broom. Would you like to ask about the broom?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. She walks over, and with a smoke on her face, Kamara, she just hands it to you and says, "Give it a try."
I give it a try.
Okay. Make an Arcana check for me.
Natural 1.
Okay, so you you look at her and she looks at you, and you look at her and she looks at you, and she narrows her eyes, and you narrow your eyes, and you start sweeping, and she says, "Good job." And then she sighs and says, "This is a broom of flying." And she shows you, rather awkwardly, how to put it between your knees. And she tells you that the word is fly. Really original. And as she does so, you kind of lift up off the ground and hover.
I can already do this.
But it would be useful for more of us to be at the same time.
How many people can be on this broom at the same time?
So the broom can hold up to 400 pounds. However, the speed is reduced if it's over 200 pounds. So it sort of depends on how fast you want to fly.
Okay. So 4,000 for this one, right?
For the broom?
Yes.
God damn it, you guys. What did I say
It was 5,500.
5,500.
5,000.
Yeah.
Right. She threw me off because I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, I have no 4,000
I've
written.
summed our gold price if we purchase everything.
Did you put in the short sword?
I put in
The half?
I put in the group component of the short sword.
Okay. Well, then add another, whatever, because I can take it out of mine.
No, I did the half of the discounted short sword, and you'll do the other.
Okay,
So,
cool.
It would be 2,873, which leaves us with approximately 3,500 gold. And a gem worth 1,000 gold in our inventory as well.
I'm taking the 2437 out of mine.
This math is not done by Aramil, who is staring at the potions as if they're trying to kill him.
Probably trying to do the math, but failing.
He doesn't fail to do the math, he just doesn't want anything.
Hey guys, do you mind if a friend of mine listens in?
I don't mind.
Okay, let me just figure out how to do a...
It depends on the friend.
Yeah.
It's the friend who will stay quiet, I promise. Anyway.
Are they a bigger friend than us?
No one is a bigger friend than you guys.
Lies.
Wow, that didn't sound...
Is it Craig?
No.
Oh, I was gonna invite him because I have the... I think I've rented him.
Is it anyone we
Is
know?
it someone from the Pharrell group?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who is it?
Well, there.
Spark.
Gotcha.
I was expecting it to be Spur.
I thought it was. I expected that.
Can I invite
that
him?
or
Yeah.
your new friend?
I already sent him the Discord invite if you want to send him the Roll21. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah.
You had to
Just
invite him to
that.
the voice channel. The voice chat.
Yeah, you have to actually invite him to the call.
There we go.
Someone else do it.
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks, Pasta. Okay. So, my understanding is you guys are purchasing every item except for the one that you didn't look at.
Which one?
The broom.
I've added the broom to that total.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I also suggested that it was 4,000 instead of 4,125.
Wasn't there a potion also that we didn't look at?
Yeah,
Oh,
but who
there
cares
was.
about potions?
Oh yeah, the clear one.
Potion of invisibility.
Did you include? Yeah, probably.
The sum that I've rolled.
So does someone want to ask about the potion?
What's the potion do?
She walks over and very carefully picks it up in her hands. And again, you watch as that little bead inside of it starts to let off kind of a red aura that swirls around. And after a second, it kind of disappears. She says, "This is a very useful item. Runs about 600 gold pieces. This is called a potion of growth."
As in height and enlargement?
Kamara, she kind of narrows her eyes at you. What are you trying to say?
In length and
As in girth? Yeah. I'm just clarifying what you mean. What it is.
It has an effect on the entirety of the body.
And how big do you get?
Big.
And how many? Like, couple inches longer? Or like,
So we're getting
Tyler.
feedback from you.
Yeah.
What's going on, Casey?
It's Josh. You okay?
My ping is at like 2,000.
That's probably why.
Do you mind just muting for a second, Josh, so we're not getting the feedback? Yay, I hate hearing myself. So she kind of gives you that narrow glance and the light flashes across her glasses again. She says, "Why don't you buy it and try it out?"
You're really fun to play with.
I know. And she kind of crosses her arms and starts tapping her foot, looking between all of you.
Mel, this would actually be good for you, I think. If you wanted to try it out.
No, I don't need the potion for strength. I only need a contingency plan of healing.
It'd make you larger.
He looks down at himself. I think I enjoy my own size.
Okay, I'm just saying. Something different.
He nods.
Something new.
Are you going to make a purchase, or am I going to be standing here all day waiting?
You
I'll
would?
take it all.
She looks over at you, Rand, and blinks. I'm sorry.
Have you not been listening to the discussion that's been going on all around you?
Honestly, no.
My apologies, madam.
Did you say you're actually going to take it all?
That is my understanding of... Aramel? Were you not just tallying up what we were going to spend, yes?
Well, I wasn't, but...
Oh.
Considering all the
look deep in
prices
thought.
you said, it's going to be about 28,000. And we definitely have more gold than that.
Okay, do you want me to read off the prices?
We're
Yes or no?
No, I have them.
No.
Nope.
She holds up a finger and says, "Just a moment." And she walks back behind the counter and pushes the beads aside to the back room. And you hear kind of a discussion going on with a rather familiar, deep masculine voice. And after a moment, the beads push aside, and out walks Gilmore. And he says, "Hello. Welcome to Gilmore's Glorious Good." He kind of bites his lip and looks you over, Aramel.
He looks back with as neutral an expression as you can imagine.
Which is what Aramel always has.
It is true.
And he says, "I understand you want to make quite the substantial purchase today."
Yes. And is there a problem with that?
Absolutely not. And he walks over and looks over all of the items. Except that it looks like I'm going to have to make another journey to acquire more things. Are you sure you have the capability of making this purchase? Not to be rude, but I'd like to see the money up front. You're not asking for credit, are you? That hasn't gone well for me in the past.
But we're being sponsored by the city. We're off to save the world again.
Aramil sighs and just turns over the bag of holding, and 30,000 gold pieces come pouring out everywhere.
Oh my god.
Charlene does in fact not let you do.
Ah. Alright, he asked for a bowl so that he may show him the gold.
Charlene's gonna say, "There's other stuff in the bag of holding, so we don't want to just dump it all out on his floor here."
As monster parts and
Yeah.
decomposing body.
Oh wow.
A couple Hydra parts like slop onto his desk.
Okay, so he walks back into the back room and brings out a bowl.
So Charlene is going to just reach her hand in and just grab a handful and then just dump it into the bowl and just continue doing that while like looking him directly in the eyes.
His eyes start to glitter and he starts stroking his beard.
So she's starting with platinum, and then when she reaches her hand in and doesn't pull out any more platinum, then she starts for the gold.
By the
So
way,
you spend, hang on one second, Zane. You spend a good 15, 20 minutes with Gilmore there practically drooling as you continue to unload the bag of holding. You filled the bowl up within the first 10 seconds, and now it's just the counter that is overflowing with gold, occasionally little ching-chings as some of them slip off the sides. All of the other patrons in Gilmore's turn and look at all of you.
Now,
And Gilmore gestures to Sherry. You might want to make sure no one comes in the door. And go ahead, Zane.
I was just gonna say minus 3760 that I've spent on.
That is in
On the
the
bargaining.
cost that I've tallied up for everyone.
Yep.
So
I'm just saying
that we
the-
already gave you.
Exactly. That like there wouldn't be 37,873 in there. It'd be minus 3760. Just keeping.
I don't think it changes the vast amount of gold.
Absolutely not.
Now,
Guys are
did
totally
anybody
spending all your money in one place. Anyway, sorry, Josh.
did anyone actually want? Did anyone claim the jumping ring? Because I'm not actually sure if we want to include that.
No.
Nope, I guess no one gets it.
Those things come in handy.
So,
Man.
well,
It does.
if you
Yeah.
think that if either like you or Aramel or someone wants it, then you could easily claim it and. Like,
I would, but I wouldn't think. I can't think of a way in character for Randolph Phineas to ask for anything from you guys.
Mhm.
He opens his mouth and he uses his words.
Yeah, but it's not proper.
Aramel,
Okay.
you just asked for him to be treated as an equal to Randa Phineas, as opposed to a master.
Everyone make me a perception check. I will help you handle this in game.
6.
Charlene, you are in the process of pulling out this gold when you look over and see just this lost puppy look on Randolph Phineas's face as he gazes longingly at this ring with his hand over his heart.
Okay, so since we already included that in this stuff, like Charlene was looking at the ring and thinking, do we actually want to take it out? And she sees like his reaction when he puts her hand like towards it, and she goes, she like changes her mind, and then she just leaves it there. So she has in mind, okay, we're buying this, and someone's going to use it, so she keeps that as part of the purchase.
Okay, so to make a very long story short, it takes you about a good 30, 45 minutes to get all that gold out of the bag of holding. Gilmore is very, very pleased, and he writes out a contract. You guys look it over. All the math seems to be correct. And he hands you over the items and starts casting a spell, and all the gold kind of lifts up in the air and kind of condenses and disappears. And then he reaches under the counter and says, "For your continued patronage." And then he gives you a wink, Aramel, and hands it to you. And he has just given you a supreme healing potion.
Aramel just very solemnly nods and takes it, gives him a sort of curt bow.
Much
Okay.
appreciated, Gilmore.
Thank you, Gilmore. That's very kind of you.
Of course.
By the
And
time
if
we get
he's,
back, I hope to see this restocked.
How long are you giving me?
Couple months.
I may be able to manage something by then. If you need any of these items customized, recolored, personalized, dedicated, or otherwise enchanted, feel free to come to myself or my little red-headed compatriot. He gives you a wink, saying,
Well, as a matter of fact, I am looking to get this lance here and this barding magicked up.
"Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I can do each of those for you for about 1,000 gold pieces." I don't have much free time. There are others who might have a little more.
When would we be able to have this done?
Well, I could have it done in 2 days' time. Or you could check with Mina, see what her availability is.
I actually just spoke with her. She's going to be fairly busy, but I think 2 days would work. That's 1,000 each plus a discount, correct?
He sighs. "Oh, Zane, you're breaking my heart.
Well,
You're going to put me out of business."
We come out here when we spend our money with you. And today we've just spent a whole lot of money.
I don't think 30,000 gold is going to put you out of business.
He chuckles and he takes the items from you, puts them behind the counter, puts a little tag on each of them, writing down what he's going to plan on doing with them. Gives you another contract.
And this armor. And I give him my splint armor.
That's going to be another 1,000 gold pieces. And another day of work.
Well, we'll probably be gone for a couple of days.
That sounds
Very
about
well.
right.
We'll be back by the time this is done.
Are there any more waits before I turn around again? I'm an old man. Don't want to break my hip.
Your shield is magical, I think, already, +1.
Actually,
It's masterwork. It's not magical.
yeah, it's just a heavy wooden shield, but no, I don't need it magic.
Well, and he claps his hands. It seems like our business is concluded. Are you leaving tonight?
I believe so.
Well, I wish you luck on your journey. Oh, and compliments of the store. He reaches under the counter and hands you all these Gilmore's Glorious Good packs. Fashionable in any way, shape, or need. They can go on a cloak, on your armor, on a saddle, on your weapon. Just stick them like this and they stay right on. And he shows you that he like sticks one on the counter and it kind of gets absorbed. So the logo is like prominent. And then he rubs his hand over it so you can tell it doesn't come off.
Great. Almost certainly use these.
Advertising for you, is that going to be another discount we get now?
We will be
No.
seen by the whole city.
You will. I'm also seen by the whole city.
Yes, but we're
He
starting
kind of
to
throws
get-
his cloak back. Take it or leave it.
So I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, what would it hurt to take it? But I'm gonna grab some, just some cheap scale mail at the armory, just to have something to wear.
Okay. Is our business concluded?
Yes.
Okay, then what do you guys plan on doing now?
Quick question first for using. Did you use your personal funds for those upgrades, or did you use the bag of holding gold for it? I have already taken it out of the bag of holding.
Well, then the bag of holding then.
I think that is very in character as well.
And then, actually, no. I think instead I'll get some. I'll just grab some cheap ring mail instead of the scale mail.
Okay, let's move on. Are we done?
I'm purchasing that from my gold because that's only 30 gold.
Yes.
Now,
Aramil's, as everyone turns to leave, he's going to say, "Excuse me for a minute. If you don't mind, I'll meet you back at the llama. I'd like to talk to Gilmer for a bit. Are you busy right now?"
For you, Aramil, I'm never busy.
Come on, gives Aramel a wink before she leaves.
He just stares at her as she does this very strange gesture, and things go through his mind, and he realizes what he has to do.
Would you like to step into my room?
Sure. Aramil goes into the back room. Is it the same room as before?
Yeah, it's the same one that you guys were resting in after you fought Freya.
Alright, he follows, pushes the beads out of the way, takes another look around.
He starts pouring some wine.
Not today.
Huh. Well, I hope you don't mind if I indulge.
No, help yourself. I have grown up among elves, dwarves, sea elves, and our lifespan is quite long. I've learned that the ways of romance between the people that I've lived with is very different from how people treat romance here in Amman. I've been told that you have been flirting. Is that true?
He kind of looks at you and he's a little bit shocked. Was I not bold enough? Did you not realize?
He shakes his head.
Huh. Well, that's awkward. Yes, I have been.
Well, then I feel like I have to tell you that my feelings lie elsewhere.
He sits back a little bit. No expression really crosses his face, and then he just kind of nods.
So, I didn't quite understand that you were working to try and sort of communicate this with our interactions, but now I do, and instead, I would much prefer to have a more friendly type of interaction rather than I think it would be called a flirty one. I'm really sorry to tell this to you. It seems like usually you would not be told this way, but I really need I need to spend time with someone and really understand them before I can even begin to think of them like a romantic partner. I'm sorry if this is unclear.
He gives a really deep sigh. Well, that's too bad, Aramil. But thank you for being honest.
If you don't wish to help me look for my clan, I understand.
I would have helped anyway, on Mina's behalf. Can I ask you one question?
Sure, I'm here. I'd be happy to answer a question for you.
Does this rejection have anything to do possibly with a certain... He tries to think of the words. perfect blonde-haired, green-eyed friend of yours? Never did catch his name.
So you think that he's attractive? Have you met him?
Do you have eyes?
He sort of
All
stalls
I'm
for a
saying
moment.
is, since you've made your lack of interest clear, if he's not involved, I'd like to go that direction instead.
Well, I will say that he is definitely the reason how I started to realize your intentions towards me, and I would very, very much appreciate it if you give him some time to think about his feelings while we are away.
Clear enough. I would warn you, though, he seems to be rather close to...
And if that is the case, I'm very happy for him.
He stands up. Okay. Well, please continue to bring your business and hopefully friendship. And he reaches out to shake.
He'll shake his hand and then give him a pretty deep bow before getting up and walking away.
And as you're walking through the beads to his door, he says, and by the way, you can tell Mina she can stop stealing the books from my library.
He pauses as he listens and moves his head and to sort of show that he's heard him, and then moves on.
Okay, so where is the party headed?
Well, we said the llama. I guess that's what Aramel wanted to go. So
About lunchtime, right?
Okay. Yeah, I would say by now it's probably about 1 o'clock. Let me change the map here. Okay, so the streets are busy. It's noon. You're walking through the promenade. There's hawkers and vendors calling out to you every which direction. You hear a couple rumors in the street about some massively rich people who just bought out the entirety of Gilmore's Glorious. Everyone's kind of looking and waiting to see who it might be. You guys will walk past, not looking like rich people. With all of your shiny new equipment, congratulations. And you go 2 doors down to the Laughing Llama. Open the door, and it is crowded. Again, you see Marcus. Marcus. Show us Marcus. You see Marcus in the corner, strumming on his lute, doing a little jig. There's a big crowd around him. A lot of little kids. As you walk in the door, you hear a little hiss and growl. It looks like someone's just stepped on Mr. Tom's tail. And you see Bree running after him. Come back, come back. Bailey's just standing there face palming. And Minxie is running around, her hair disheveled, super stressed expression on her face, trying to make sure that everyone is getting the orders that they've placed. And behind the counter in the kitchen, pouring ale, is Greer, who appears to have the day off. And what would you guys like to do?
do you need some help, Minxie?
Both of my servant girls called out. I am so stressed out. Yes. Here. She shoves an apron at you.
I'll help out.
Immediately, as soon as you put on the apron, all of the tables suddenly have new orders that they need. Isn't that strange how that happens?
Oh, wow.
There's lots of muttering and whistling as Kamara walks by.
It'll be a minute. So just wait patiently. Don't get asked for Minxie. I'll get to you.
Everyone roll me another perception check, please. Okay, Randall, Phineas, and Aramil. Over the kind of din of the crowd, over the sound of the lute, and you as well, Charlene, you hear just a minute little voice that seems to be coming from the courtyard. Hello? Am I still supposed to be back here? Did you forget about me? Hello?
Sheldon goes back there.
Aramil follows her. Tilts his head a little bit. Very strange.
Randolph and Ace, are you following them as well?
They look like they handled it. Just can handle it. I'm gonna. Actually, I will help. Fall in line and start helping. What's her face? Kamara.
What's her face?
Sorry, I'm still learning all your guys' names.
So Randolph Phineas kind of sees the chaos that's going on, and he kind of like gets this look of frustration on his face for a second, and goes over and magically comes out of the kitchen with like 5 trays in his hand, all perfectly balanced, and starts delivering food. At this point, Minxie like almost drops what she's carrying, looking at him. And although Minxie is amazed, and perhaps the rest of you, everyone at the table seems a little disappointed that they're not being waited on by Kamara. Okay, so Aramil and Charlene, you go to the back. Charlene, you know exactly what to expect as you guys push through the flaps to the back courtyard of the Laughing. And there on like a wooden pole, tethered is Bird, the little red-tailed hawk that you guys rescued from Catlet.
Yes.
And she tilts her head at Mel and says, "Finally, someone's found me. I thought you left me."
Aramil instantly strikes a fighting pose. There's something wrong.
Sheldon's gonna laugh. No, she's supposed to be like that now. And then she turns back to Bird. I just expected that you were going to be playing with Bailey until I got back. I didn't realize that you were still just going to be staying here. Sorry about that.
I would really like to fly around. I would really like to eat some food.
Well, as you could see, you're no longer tethered, so...
She lifts up a foot and kind of flexes her claws and tilts her head again. Oh. Tilts it the other way. Oh, I'm not used to that. She kind of takes off, flutters a little bit around the courtyard, and then lands on your shoulder, Charlene.
By the way, Zane would have went with them. He was going to go check on Max.
Okay, so you see all this happening, and Maximus is there with his head out of the stall, and he gives you a big whinny as you walk out of the courtyard. Thank you. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm glad you did.
So, Bird...
As Zane walks over to Maximus real quick, he's going to say, "So that's what you were doing earlier. I never saw the end of what you were doing."
Yeah, I figured it made sense that the first time I try this, I do it on the first animal friend that we had. And I didn't know if it made sense. I kind of didn't know if even asking would offend Maximus, so I didn't ask him. He's already smart. I don't even know if it would work.
You hear kind of a horse chuckle from the stall.
As he approaches Maximus and pats him on the head, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't think it would work either. Would it, Maximus?"
He shakes his head back and forth, his mane kind of flipping side to side.
So why the hawk? And are we still calling it bird? No, seems kind of
Bird.
insulting.
Bird, the last we spoke, you were thinking about a name. Did you come up with one yet?
Yes. And I'm going to need you to ping that to me, please.
Okay. If you look at my animal form section, it's there. I will.
And how do I pronounce that? You might as well just say. I recognize it, but
Okay.
is it fail?
Fail.
Fail. So she says fail.
Ooh.
I don't know how bird with a beak can make an F sound, but we're just going to go with it.
That's very true.
Aramil raises an eyebrow. So, you used magic to turn a normal, non-magical bird into an intelligent being known as Fail.
Yes, that's the long and short of it.
He sighs. You robbed this bird of its chance to live a normal life.
I asked for its consent first. I wasn't going to just do it to it without it having informed consent.
But did you have a need to do it to the bird other than your own curiosity? Is there a reason for doing it?
And at this point, it was a mixture of curiosity and if it was something that Fayol wanted, I gave her the option, and she said yes.
Maximus kind of gives a neigh and shakes his head up and down. And it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm just showing you guys Maximus again.
Oh, he's pretty.
Look at that sexy art.
Yeah, I wonder who did that art.
I don't know who did that art. I think it was Christie's.
I think it's really good art.
Achoo!
Arabelle sneezes.
Zane's gonna do the usual horse stuff.
He's gonna do the horse stuff.
The usual horse stuff.
So in other words, you brush him down, you use your curry comb, pick his hooves, clean off the saddle. Are you getting him ready to ride?
Yep. This short excursion that we're about to do, I want to take him with. Get him used to the exercise.
As soon as you open the stall door, he almost barrels you over and he starts prancing around the courtyard, and you realize it's been quite a bit of time that he's been locked.
Hey, you know better.
He sticks his nose in your belly and goes,
Yeah, you're about to get run ragged.
He kind of clamors his front hooves at the sound of that.
You're gonna wish you didn't get out of that stall.
He tilts his head to the side and like pokes your belly again.
And I guess you'll love every moment of it.
So Kamara and Randolph Phineas, what are you guys doing on the
Helping Minxie, helping Kamara mainly.
Okay. Randolph Phineas, as you're helping out, this is kind of really your first time in the llama. So you're kind of checking everybody out. You see the two kids playing with this kind of grungy looking tomcat. You see an armored man behind the counter pouring ale, who is sullenly looking at Kamara as she makes her way around the room, helping with the serving. There's kind of a peppy barkeep who is also taking orders. But in the corner is a man who is strumming on a lute, and he starts playing a song. And I'm going to show the song to you. The crowd kind of quiets down to listen.
Is this a song that Brett's supposed to come up with the tune and sing it for herself?
Everyone ready? Everyone ready?
Yes. Wait, no. Popcorn. Hang on. Okay, got my popcorn ready.
I need a guitar solo. Here we go. Someone pull out a guitar.
Okay, I've got my magic air guitar. Strum.
Yes. All right.
He just unplugged his computer.
What?
He's like, okay, guys, here I go. Pulls the cord. Haha.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was looking forward to that.
Brett.
And the darkness comes where the Kingslayer goes. I hope y'all heard that. That was epic.
Oh god.
You accidentally didn't use your push to talk for the first 9/10 of the song, but okay.
Accidentally. Huh?
Yay! Okay, reeling it in. However, Randolph Phineas, that is the song that you hear. You have not heard it before.
Okay, interesting. Kingslayer, huh?
Okay, so everyone seems to have been served now. Things are calming down a little.
No,
come back
don't touch.
Okay, pause. Kamara, drama time. Take it away.
That's all I was gonna say. No. Don't touch. I'll be with you in a moment.
You're telling me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would definitely order a lot more. I better get a good tip for that.
One of them reaches out to kind of slap you on the rear, and you just swing your tail and slap him in the face. And all of his buddies go, ooh! Okay, yeah, so everyone is served, things calm down a little bit. Minxie's leaning over the counter trying to catch her. And Greer is kind of staring at you, Kamara, expressionless. Well, not expressionless, like pouty. Are the rest of you coming back in from the courtyard, or are you doing something else?
Aramil still needs to talk to Charlene about the friggin' awakened talk, but Josh isn't here.
No, I'm back now.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Before we go to that, Randolph Phineas.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Randolph Phineas, you're standing there, you're kind of contemplating this song when you feel a rub against your bottom leg, and you look down, and there is the grungiest, dirtiest looking tomcat you've ever seen. And he starts to pick up his back leg.
Ever so gently, I will lift my left foot, and with my right hand to my side, I push him away from me, but at the same time, I will cast Prestidigitation and clean his mangy ass up.
Okay. The cat kind of gives a and darts off as soon as it feels the weird sensation of the magic. Kamara, go ahead.
Minxie,
Yes, darling.
have you been able to talk to Viola yet?
I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance. I do need to get over there. I promise I haven't forgotten how important it is.
Do you want me to go with you before we go?
Oh, sure, I guess.
Because we can go after the Russians if you wanted to. or we can go tomorrow. I mean, I don't know if I'm leaving tonight or not.
I mean, I'd love to go right after this, but as she kind of leans into you, am I supposed to do anything to, like, taste better?
I don't know. I mean, he likes fruit, so maybe if you ate more fruit?
Okay, I can do that. And she runs back into the kitchen, and you see her starting to pull out strawberries and raspberries and just kind of start stuffing her face.
You're a good lady.
Greer looks between the two of you. His eyebrows furrowed. Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. Charlene and Aramil.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Even if you can speak to animals, they're not very intelligent creatures surviving mostly on instinct. No offense to your newly awakened intellect. He says to the bird.
The bird huffs and ruffles her feathers at you.
So, Fael,
That's
now...
why, they end up getting used for things like food. Survival instincts are fine. Healing a bird with magic, they have no way of understanding the implications and whether or not they're going to live or die from it. But a bird has no idea what the repercussions are of becoming intelligent, so unless you have a very particular plan, I'm very surprised you do something like this.
Fael, now that you have this boosted intelligence, what do you think? Do you regret your decision?
I want to explore, and I want to try new things, and I want to eat new food, and I don't want to do what the ugly, mean orcs say.
Sounds perfect to me. Do you want to go explore with us?
She tilts her head. Will there be mice?
There probably will be. If not, I'm sure where we're going, there's going to be lots of new things for you to try.
Then Fael will go.
And Aramel,
Yes?
this was more for Fael than for us, but the next time that I awaken something, it is going to be for more of a plan.
He looks over Charlene and gives a sort of curt nod and gives a very slight bow to Fael and turns around. I'll be back eating inside. We're going to leave north for the after this evening, correct? So we should be ready to go.
Yes. Yes.
I managed to take a look inside the bag of holding at the Gilmore's. It seems that we have plenty of rations. And with all of our potions and new items, I can't imagine anything else we'd need.
Yes, we should definitely be good on everything we should need.
He nods and heads back inside.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, when do you plan on departing? I know that Kamara needed to make one little trip with Minxie. Is there anything else that anyone needs to do? And I want to clarify that you guys are heading north to Gore as opposed to going to Mina for the teleportation, correct?
Correct.
I mean, those koatle kittens, they are just so much more important than the city of Amon, okay?
Right? I know.
And
Right.
Fayul could help us find them because they could probably flutter and fly, and Fayul could fly. So part of it.
How far do we expect to be going? How long do we expect to be out? I'm sure we would have sat down and figured it out.
Well, did any of you take notes when the Quaddle Cat was telling you, or when you were at the menagerie?
Absolutely not.
I think it was
Mhm.
like 3 days.
Ding ding.
Yep.
I didn't write notes, but I remembered. I have memory.
Now, that was 3 days at the speed of a menagerie. So, the group of you, if you decided to go on horseback, it could be half that. If you decide to walk, it could be 3/4. That is up to you.
Okay.
At the speed of the menagerie?
Remember, they were coming down from Craghammer with wagons and animals and all that stuff. So, they were, when they said
Gotcha.
3 days to the north, that's at the caravans.
Okay. Well, everybody knows that I'll be bringing Maximus today.
Yes. And we do still have the other horses hanging out here, right?
It's the cult of horses that were worshiping Max.
Yes.
Yes.
The Maximus horse cult.
Maybe yourself and he talks to Sherlin. Maybe yourself and Kamara would like to take our new broom of flight. It should be a lot easier to remove. Excuse me. It should be a lot easier to maneuver with it.
Yeah. Oh, and as for this ring, who wants this ring? You know what? Rand, do you want it? I think we just scooped it up with everything else. I don't think anyone actually claimed it.
Quite a nice ring. It's quite a gift to give to someone such as myself. Are you sure?
Yes, and you're going to be coming with us, and you're going to be helping. It makes sense to be well equipped.
My thanks, Lady Charlotte.
Sheldon
Since-
gives a little bow to him.
Since you like to serve us, would you like to wear this robe? And every so often, if we need something, you can just peel it off.
What? He looks at the. Is it gaudy looking? Like, what's it look like? It's very important about what it looks like.
Randolph Phineas, you actually couldn't wear a robe.
Sweet. I don't think I could do it. I could wear that. My apologies.
No problem. Who could wear the robe?
You did say
Anyone
it was
can.
colder.
Sorry, out of character. Anyone can wear that. There's just a particular reason that Randolph Phineas wouldn't want to.
Okay.
Well, it will be colder where we're going. Aramel takes a look at it inside the bag, grabs it, holds
I put
it
it
up.
on his shoulders.
It's not bad, I guess. He takes a look at the pockets. And these pockets have things in them, correct?
No, there are no pockets. It's just a gray robe, and on the robe are patches.
Patches, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna use it for mostly his clothing.
We should make sure to purchase some cold weather gear in order to not freeze to death.
I think we can
The
do
city
that
of
after we
Nocturne
return.
is well regulated. It's the caverns on the way that I worry about. It isn't like going through the mountains, but it is damp. It is cold. If you are not dressed appropriately, you will be mildly uncomfortable. you will not freeze to death.
Very well.
Sounds good enough to me. I'm gonna go with Minxie to see Valor, and anyone want to go with us?
Yes, I'll come with you.
I'll come as well.
Okay. So I have to ask, Minxie is not going to want to leave until because work.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to kind of spend the afternoon eating and relaxing, or is there anything between the time that you're leaving the llama and taking Minxie to Vales?
After
Yes.
Zane, he's going to be taking care of.
Zane's going to be doing what?
He's going to be taking care of some things.
Okay. I'm going to make those things mission style, so you can whisper them to me, and we'll do some rolls behind the scene to see how successful you are. Is that
Sounds perfect.
okay? Someone else responded, Randolph Phineas.
Yes, Rand will make his, say goodbye and agree to meet up later that evening after they return from Vale Errands, and he will disappear.
Okay. Is that something that we can handle out of session as well?
That was a lot of it's what I sent you this week about stuff I wanted to do. It's mainly that,
Right.
actually.
And don't forget about your inspiration point, okay?
Oh, okay, I won't.
Okay. So we're going to fast forward to that evening. The crowd kind of dies down. At one point, Greer excuses himself, looks at you, Kamara, and kind of stomps off to his room and slams the door. Minxie notices this and kind of looks over at Zane with a raised eyebrow. The kids are having fun. Bailey is obsessed with Bird. He is spending hours just talking with Bird about everything from what is it like to fly? What do you eat? What is it like to kill things between your claws? He is not holding back.
And remember, her name's Fayo now.
Fail, right. So yeah, it's about, let's see, you guys got there about 1, maybe spent at about an hour role playing. So it's about 5 hours by the time the llama starts to close down, and you can take it.
Okay. So during that time, Charlene has pretty much been sitting at the table, like munching every now and then, but mostly her head was just in the book, and she starts her 48-hour trek to try to finish it in 6 days.
Okay. So the patrons start leaving, and Minxie walks over. She looks at you, Charlene, and she's, oh, wait a second. She runs into the back. 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes pass. She runs back out. Her hair is brushed. Looks like she's washed up, and she's wearing some perfume. And she looks really nervous. And she's kind of holding her belly a little bit, like, I think I ate too many strawberries.
No.
Aramel sort of scrunches his nose. He sniffs. Something seems different, Minxie. Is everything okay?
She turns bright red.
You don't have to be nervous.
Are you kidding, Mrs. Lysander?
Yes, but he loves you. He knows you. You're part of his family, too.
She kind of wipes a little bit of sweat off her brow. Okay, let's go before I chicken out.
Okay.
Okay, so who do I have going again? Charlene, Aramel, and Kamara?
Yes.
Yeah.
God forbid we ever go to the same place all at the same time.
It's almost like we all have.
Okay, so you guys, with the sun setting overhead and the 2 moons of Exandria visible up in the sky, cross through the promenade, some of the shops are starting to shut down, but there's a few people still out and about. You guys get a lot of looks just because of the company that you're keeping. The shirtless elf, the beautiful tiefling, and the blue-skinned merfolk walk across. This sounds like a joke.
Yeah.
Walk across the district through the temple district and over into the upper slums to the estate of Vale Aaron / orphanage.
Wait 1 second. Before that, Aramil is now wearing a robe. It
You
was
mean a
taken-
cloak, a gray cloak?
Yes. So it does cover some of his skin.
Oh
some
no,
reason-
there goes all the fan art.
But I imagine it only covers like his back, maybe has a hood, some of his arms, but a good portion of his tattoo is still visible.
Copy that. So you're making your way to the gates, kind of chatting amongst yourselves about these new magical items and the prices. And as you approach the gates, you notice two figures standing right outside in conversation. And usually this wouldn't cause you pause, except for you realize immediately who these two people are. And it's a little odd to be seeing them together. Give me one second. Of course, you see Vale Aaron and Mina. And they're kind of huddled together a little bit with their voices down. And they seem to be a little heated, whatever it is that they're talking.
I won't stop and try to listen.
Okay, are you doing this by magical means or...
No.
So roll me a perception check. However, as you guys start to approach, and you all very well know why, Vale looks over at you. His golden eyes kind of gleaming in the darkness. He already knows that you're there. Mina seems pretty oblivious. However, Vale doesn't react to you. He just turns back and looks at Mina.
13.
Anyone else?
Well, it's not like I have a choice if I hear it while I'm walking towards them.
Roll it. Not bad. Charlene?
Okay. 1 second. Here we go.
Okay. Kamara and Charlene, all that you guys hear is the name Zane mentioned a few times. You hear Dugent mentioned a few times. Aramil, you hear a little bit more of the conversation. You kind of get the gist that they're talking about Dugent and they're basically contemplating the reason that Dugent has been trying to assassinate Zane. And Mina's basically saying that there's got to be a reason behind it that they haven't seen. And she's just starting to pull out some notes and give him some information when he kind of gestures for her to, and she hesitates and turns and sees you guys talking. And she gives you a wave. Sees you guys stopping, and then she gives you a wave.
I'm staring intensely at Vale Aaron when he tells her to stop. And then walking forward.
Yeah, I'm curious. How's Kamara reacting to this?
Her face is kind of distrustful a little bit when she's looking at Vale when he told her to stop. And she's just kind of staring at him while she's walking forward and trying to keep an eye and kind of showing her emotion, how she wants to know what was going on and why did he keep this, and but it's kind of stone faced, but in her eyes, if you get what I mean by that.
Right.
Yeah.
He looks, he's so much taller than her. He looks over her shoulder and kind of lifts his chin at you, Kamara, to acknowledge your face. I can't think of a better way to say it. Mina's, hi guys, bestie. It has been so long. You haven't seen me in like a day. She runs over and gives you a hug, Aramel.
He'll wrap an arm around her. A day is a bit of an overestimate, but...
Who's keeping track? Except for me. Anyway, it's late. I better run. See you guys later. And she starts walking off without waiting for you to respond. And unless you guys are going to stop her, you're standing there looking at Vale.
I just tilt my head, and then I gesture for him to go inside.
He gives you all a nod, turns and enters the courtyard, walks up to the door and opens it for you. He gives a kind of weird glance at me. Is this the one you were talking about?
Yes, this is Minxie. She's ready.
Minxie kind of gives him an awkward, not quite curtsy. She doesn't know what to do. She just kind of makes a movement that's very strange, and she turns red.
It's alright, Minxie. Valerian is a trusted friend of ours, of course. You
He
can act
doesn't
yourself
keep
around
anything
him.
from us.
He reaches out a hand and shakes her hand. He's super fucking intimidating, though. She kind of cowers under him. But you guys kind of move inside. And he says, did you explain everything to her?
Yes.
And he turns and looks at her, and you all feel that strange weight that you felt before. And he says to her, do you promise not to speak of this to anyone? And she says, yes. And he says, are you sure that you're okay with doing this? And she kind of blushes and says, yes. And he turns his head to the side and looks at her, and he says, it really doesn't hurt, I promise. She gives a big gulp, and he holds a finger up to you guys, and he leads her upstairs, and you hear a little bit of conversation and a door shutting, and then he walks back down.
Did you hear what they were talking about? I only heard Zane and Dugant.
I believe Mina was trying to ask Vale about some of the reasons that Dugant might be after Zane.
Well, that makes sense.
Why would he know?
I'm not sure, but I do know that it does seem like they are both currently after each other. All for politics or something related to cities. This is why it would be much better if everyone just lived natural lives out in the forest.
Nobility is so strange.
Yeah.
They just fight each other all the time. It's just kind of irritating.
About this time, you guys hear some heavy footsteps, and he clanks back down the stairs. Gives a big sigh.
Are we allowed to go up now? Or are we staying here?
He turns and looks at Eric. Don't think Lysander would appreciate that right now, knowing certain people's attitudes on certain things.
Aramil shrugs. I'm fine. We'd already discussed it yesterday.
He narrows his eyes and looks at you, and you feel that weight again. Really, you're fine.
Yes. If it's something that he needs, and there's nothing harming him about it, of course I would support it.
Are you telling the truth?
It's very truthful.
He kind of gives you a deep look and just starts nodding. Okay, then. Well, I don't think you guys need to stick around. I can bring the girl back to the tavern when they're done.
Get more information on Dugat, I guess, right?
He blinks a couple times. Sorry?
Get more information on Dugat. That's what you're gonna do.
He gives a sigh. God damn it, Kamara. Trying to keep you out of that.
Why?
Let's just say that sometimes things need to be done that are underhanded.
That's true, but it's good for everybody to know what's being done and not keep things secret. Especially if we're all connected and all
Well,
a party.
You know I can't tell a lie, so if you want to ask, ask.
I got the gist of it.
He nods. Mina's a smart girl. She's figured something out. There's really no reason for Dugat to want to assassinate Zane. Not unless... And he pauses and realizes that he might have just made a big mistake. And
Not
you can
unless-
see that cross his face, and he looks at the group of you.
Not unless what?
He kind of grits his teeth. Well, maybe the three of you should ask Zane about that.
He lies way too much. Why don't you just tell us?
I made a promise not to, and I keep my promises. Let me just say that you guys should know who you're traveling with.
That's
Come-
very true.
Kamara, he reaches out, takes her hand, gives it a kiss. Why don't you come say goodnight to Castellano?
Okay.
So he gestures for her to go up the stairs. And as she does, he turns to you guys and says, "Don't wait up." And follows her up. Okay, anything else?
Aramil is going to focus for... Well, first he's going to let... he is going to let Charlotte know that he's going to try and see if Aramil would be comfortable with them visiting. He's going to focus for a few minutes, see if that connection would happen. I don't know how long feeding would take, but I don't imagine it takes hours. Or more than a minute. But maybe it does. It would be fun to find out. And he's just going to try and establish that connection.
You totally made me head desk there. I am not writing that. You guys can figure that out between you and tell me what the answer is.
How long it takes for a vampire to feed?
Okay.
How long does it take to get a pint of blood?
I mean, if you put a pressure bag on it, it could go in under 2 minutes. I mean, I honestly, logistically don't think that it would take very long. So, Aramil, to answer your question, you wait 3 or 4 minutes, and do you try to make that mental connection?
Yeah, he'll seek it out.
Okay. There's a little bit of surprise, but you feel yourself pulled into Lysander's mind after just a moment. And you kind of stumble a little bit because when he pulls you in, it's not like before you were actually seen through his eyes, and it's a little disorienting. This is the first time that it's happened. And you see him in Vale's room. Minxie is laying on the bed. She looks kind of like she's passed out. She has like a cloth around her neck. And you watch as he turns around to face the door. And he says, "You're here."
Yes, we're not leaving until after this evening now, and we have something to discuss.
You can come up. And out of character, I'm going to ask, is this discussion going to be 15 minutes or under?
It is about what they need to follow up on. It's very specifically what Lysander asked to follow up on. So that's not my knowledge.
Can you whisper me about this? Because I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry. Without that one session being recorded, I kind of missed a lot. I couldn't go back and listen.
I think it was last session, but sure.
So I'm I'm doing a song for Kasiyama that she's gonna learn, or not learn, but like she's gonna hear a lot through message, and I'm letting her know that I'm going to sing that every night to her, and I give her example of what it is by sending her a message while I'm explaining it.
Okay. Well, next session, you're going to sing this song for us.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Aramel. Yeah, I think we can do that in about 15 minutes. So that's...
Aramil will communicate with Lysander. I'm not sure how Vale feels about me entering his home. Would you like to come meet us at the door?
You feel acknowledgement, and it's a couple minutes later when Lysander comes down the stairs. When he comes down, he's still dressed in the clothes that Mina made for him. Very well made. A little revealing because this is... he walks down and gives you a nod, Charlene. You feel almost a mental hug as he sees you. And then his eyes go to you. Go ahead, Charlene.
Oh no, I just said she tries to return it.
Yeah, I don't know how well that goes, but if you'd like to give him a physical one, you're welcome.
No, she just tries to return a mental one. She doesn't really understand the connection. She thinks it probably won't work, but she still tries. She gives him a smile there.
He returns it and then looks at you, Aramil.
It's very good to be able to see you before we head out.
Are you leaving tonight then?
Either early tomorrow or tonight. We are waiting for some equipment for Maximus to be finished, apparently. So we're going to venture north. Apparently there's something that the group had thinks is important to deal with. Just some of the local creatures were highly disturbed, so we're going to see if we can help sort that out while we wait for some of the equipment to get ready.
He gives you a nod. He's still holding you in his... It's a little disorienting for you because you're almost... It's almost like you're looking at yourself. But you realize that you don't even really need to be speaking aloud.
Aramilla. Well, Charlene is there too.
Yeah.
So Aramil sort
I
of
mean, it wouldn't be
looks-
awkward at all if you just stand there and look at each other for 15 minutes.
Aramil sort of blinks and moves a little bit, and he says, now I can see you. He gives a slight smile. So, about that vision, I have been thinking about the circumstances about it. It was when I was looking for help. I was trying to meditate under very harsh conditions. It was on the ground, outside of the city, and instead of my normal sort of, I would say it's more like a dreamless state, where you're not really asleep or awake. It was filled with this vision, and I remember it very distinctly of sort of watching this scene rather than being a part of it. I recognized exactly what was happening because I remember that point in time, but obviously I never understood that you were actually watching me at that point.
He gives a nod of acknowledgement, although he doesn't need to because you feel it in your mind. He feels a little trepidous and cautious, like he's almost afraid of what you're going to say.
You can say anything, Aramil. Yep, Lysander. Ah.
That's the second night.
Aw, man.
I know. I don't know what to think of this. So tell me what you remember. What more do you know? I guess what I should say to you is that there is no way that you should be able to have that memory. The laws of life and death prevent it. You were dead. Memory can't travel beyond life into death and back. Not unless you're like me. There has to be something, some kind of clue as to why you were able to remember this particular vision, Aramil, and I need you to think about it because it is very important.
Aramil stands very still. He takes a breath as he starts to consider. This seems to be all that stands out at this point. It did come to me in a moment of desperation and sickness when I was not balanced. So, it's possible that something else will come to me, and that could make exactly what I experienced clearer.
Okay, at this point, I am going to ask you to make a history check. If you roll a 17 or above, I will remind you of something. If you don't, it passes from your memory for the time being. Oh, nice. Very lucky. Okay, give me 1 second because I need to whisper this to you. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to waste the time. At the very beginning of the vision, do you have the write-up that I gave you?
I do, actually. Shall I actually reference it?
I'd like you to reference it. There is something that happened at the very beginning of the vision. And I think that out of character, you might have disregarded it, thinking that you knew what it was, but I want you to look at it a little more closely. And guys, we'll be finishing up in just one moment. Thank you for your patience.
Keep going. Entertain.
Josh, are you awake? Josh.
Yes.
Oh, yes. You drank your coffees.
And this time, me saying yes, I'm actually awake, and it's not.
You're actually comprehending.
saying yes.
Okay. Pasta, let us know when you're ready. I really want this to occur to you rather than me tell it to you. By the way, just FYI, while we're waiting, Pasta, just type in chat when you're ready.
Sure.
While we're waiting, I'm just gonna let you guys know that I'm going into a 5 shift. So if you message me in the next few days, it's probably gonna be a while before I get back to you.
Okay.
I will message you every single day.
I love messages, so please do. I just probably won't respond to them.
And then I'll get really mad at you for not responding.
I won't actually be around, so
Oh my gosh, is it what I think it is?
probably. No, it's not a wedding.
Oh, I want so many pictures
All right.
when
Is
it
it
happens.
the
No,
strange ancient presence, or is it the light at the end of the tunnel?
Bingo on the first. Okay, so reeling it back in, we're going to go back into game. Aramel, you're standing there looking at Lysander. He's looking at you. This mental connection is going. Charlene is standing to the side awkwardly and take.
He thinks and says, "No, actually, it wasn't myself looking at me. It was some sort of presence. Something large, old, powerful."
He kind of stiffens a little bit and his eyes go upwards as if he's, and you can feel his mind moving, but he's got you. There's still all of those barriers and blockades, and you can't, although you feel the surface of his thoughts and you're connected, you can't kind of delve in the way you've been able to in the past. Say that again, Aramel.
There was a very old, strong presence that felt like it very suddenly focused on me and then disappeared. I don't even understand quite how to describe it.
In his mind, you feel a growing sensation of shock, followed by a twinge of hope that you have not felt from him since he awoke. And as he looks at you, a small smile crosses his lips. This is good. This is very, very good. I think I understand now. And he steps forward and gives you a hug. Holds it for quite a while and then turns and gives Charlene a hug as well. And then steps back and looks at the both of you and says, I look forward to seeing you when you return.
Aramil just gives a very slight smile and
I look
nods his
forward
head.
to seeing we return as well.
Of course I'll look forward to it.
And Aramil, he looks to you again and says, don't forget your promise. Every day.
Every day.
And he turns and goes back up the stairs. And that is where we are going to call it a night. Brett, if you have time to hang out, we will deal with these missions. And the same thing with you, Randolph Phineas. But if you need to go, we can certainly deal with it at some point during the week when I have time.
I can take care.
Okay, Pasta, if you want to go ahead and cut,